Good afternoon, everyone. I can't hear you, but I know you can hear me, and you can see the different organizers of this very first taste talk from the Flavor Project. We're starting a new side hustle, a side adventure of our project with this webinar series that will run for the coming years. And we're excited that you have chosen to join us for this first leg of the journey. I will be moderating today, explaining you what's happening, announcing the speakers and the different topics of the meeting. But before I do that, I would like to give the floor to our lead partner from the Flavor Project, the Economic Agency of Burgenland from Austria, represented by Astrid Bayer, who would like to officially welcome you so that we can get formally started with the Taste Talk series. So Astrid, over to you.
Hello, everybody, and a warm welcome to today's webinar. My name is Astrid, and I'm speaking on behalf of the lead partner team of the Interreg Europe project FLAVOR. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, now you should see my screen. I shared it to you. Just a few sentences of the FLAVOR project. FLAVOR brings together 10 rural regions across Europe to explore how local food culture can drive sustainable development, strengthen communities, and support regional economies. Today's session has been shaped and hosted by our partners from Nature Park Ur, who developed the theme and content for this webinar. I would also like to thank you, Taco, our external expert, who will give us through the speaking slots and the overall moderation. We are very happy to have you with us, and we look forward to an inspiring exchange.
Thanks so much, Astrid. Thanks for bringing this wonderful European crew together. And thanks for launching this first webinar in the Taste Talk series. So Taste Talks, I think the title says a lot. We'll be talking tastefully about what tastes right across Europe in our 10 rural regions that were just shown on the map. Flavor is all about knowledge exchange between these different rural regions on how they deal with the challenges of fostering and growing and expanding their regional food culture and turning it into a real asset for their regional development. And knowledge exchange is all about sharing experiences, having conversations, and these webinars will be exactly about that, about hearing from different regions what good practices and experiences and lessons they have for each other, and diving a bit deeper into how these could be transferred and shared. The curator of this webinar, as announced by Astrid, is the Natuurpark Ur, our Luxembourg partners and one of the founding fathers of the Flavor Project. Laurent Baulesch from the Nature Park Ur will come up in a second to explain you a little bit about what Taste Talk series will be about and how it will shape in the coming years. Then we will hear also from Laurent more about one of the lighthouse practices that we have on board in this project. It's the Ecole du Goût practice from Luxembourg, which is one of the experiences that we are very keen to share with each other. And followed, this speech is followed by the opportunity for you as participants to engage in questions and answers with Laurent. So please look on the top of your screen. There should be a Q&A section with a little thought bubble and a question mark. This is where you can drop all your questions to the speakers and also see the questions that other participants in the conversation have shared. And you could even vote or give a thumbs up to the questions that you also feel interested in. So at some point we can also see where we should steer the conversation to. So don't forget to formulate your questions, check into the questions of the other participants and express your preferences. Following Laurent's contribution, we will be moving to Austria, where in Burgenland, there's a very interesting example of a local food product shop that appealed not only to the Luxembourg delegation, but hopefully to all of you. So we will be hearing more about that practice. And the Luxembourg team will also engage in a little interview with the Austrian partner to dive a bit deeper into this practice. And again, also at that end of that section, you will have the opportunity to ask your questions using the Q&A function. So I hope this sets the scene, and now quickly over to Laurent to explain us a little bit more about how to taste talk and then go forward into the Ecole du Goût experience. Laurent, over to you.
So thank you very much, Taco, and very warm welcomes for me. As Taco said, I will briefly introduce you again to the format of the Flavor Taste Talks. And I prepared a little presentation with some screenshots from the video, which got sent by you also per email with the invitation. So everyone should see the Flavor Presents webinar series Taste Talks. So the idea was that we have a format for both for partners and stakeholders, where we share like the different regions and also like good practices. So for the stakeholders, we will meet every 3 months. So we have a quarterly exchange in a webinar format, which is hosted by the 10 different regions of our Flavor project. So every partner is a host once, and like this, we get to know the food culture of all our European regions. So how will it work? We have presentations of a region and also very important of the policy and of a good practice of the host. And afterwards, we have also short interviews and also, as Taco said, a question and answer session. For the question and answer session, take care that you choose like the question in the chat. If you just entered something in the chat, it's like a normal comment and we can't up or downvote it. So for this time, you got the invitation and you got also like a how to prepare. So we added like 2 fact sheets, which are the results of a quick scan, which we did, so that everyone has a short overview of the food culture of the 2 partners who are presenting that day. And after the webinar, you will also find the fact sheets and the good practices we talked about on the Interreg portal. And also you can find this webinar on YouTube and on our communication channels to rewatch it, or if you had the opportunity to join. Like the difference is if you join live, you can add your questions and you can shape a bit of the webinar. So what does this mean for our partners? As we have the rotating host principle, every partner has the opportunity to host the webinar once. So 3 months in advance, which is like this date for the second webinar. The host selects an own policy, like they are presenting the policy they are working on, and they have also the opportunity to present a good practice. So to choose one of their strong examples and to showcase it to the partners and stakeholders of the other regions. Then the host also selects a partner practice. So they can go and choose like any good practice they like or they want to know more about, and also prepare like an interview. So if they think like, wow, this good practice is very interesting for us, we want to know more about it, they can choose it, they can inform the partner. And so the partner has also the possibility to present this good practice. If they have like, if they're open for more like a surprise, they can also go for a call for good practice and give the partner an opportunity to present an own good practice as a partner in the webinar. So you have 2 possibilities as a partner to go for good practice. So how will it work? The host presents his own policy and also good practice. Then we have a question and answer voting afterwards. Then the chosen partner presents the good practice. The host can do the interview And afterwards, we have also for the stakeholders and partners who are taking part, again, the opportunity to ask their questions and to go deeper into that. So 1 month in advance, the host prepares the invitation and also the meeting link. It's a bit earlier than this time. And also after the webinar, the host is responsible to upload their good practice to the Interreg portal, and also the partner could do the same, so that we are filling up a bit of that section in the Interreg portal. Very important for this time. So we developed this format now. And if you have afterwards feedback, you can send it directly to the email address, which is indicated there. But also you will get tomorrow like a mail from us again, where you can send us your feedback. If you didn't like something, if you loved something, so you can send us everything. And then the next time we will adapt it and go on with that. So after this talk, we have another 10 talks, yeah, to go on. So now I'm going to switch to the event today. So we will start with again, we will start with Luxembourg as a host this time. So in the name of the Ecole du Goût and also the 3 nature parks, I invite you to join me in this session, where we go deeper into the good practice and also in our policy. Here you can see the map of Luxembourg and also of our organizations. So we have the Ecole du Goût, which is a project of the 3 nature parks, which is indicated under nature park point LU. And there you can also see our flavor team and also some more information about Luxembourg. I will shortly try if the animations will work. No. One moment. Then I will share it a bit differently. So I hope you see it again. Then we do it like this. Okay. So you will see here, one moment. Okay. So you will see here the map of Luxembourg, and I show you this map that you have a bit of an understanding how of the different regions of Luxembourg and also of the nature parks. So which is very known in every part of the world is like the capital of Luxembourg, which is very picturesque. And if we go more to the north, we have our 3 nature parks, the Nature Park Översauer, Ur, and also the Natur- and Geopark Möllerdal, with their very unique settings. But we have also like one wine region, which is the Mosel, which is bordering Germany. And in the south of Luxembourg, we have the mining area, which is a very flat area. There are like 660,000 inhabitants. The capital has 130,000. And in our nature parks, there are around 70,000 people who are living there. I also indicated to you how many cattle and dairy cows we have. So you get a first impression of what our food landscape is a bit looking like. As we go deeper into Europe, You will probably not recognize Luxembourg on this picture, only a small red dot. And I'm referring directly to the quick scan which we had. Then for the Luxembourgish agricultural production, it is very important to also see like the greater region. So we have a part of Belgium, Germany, and France, which are like very important. They play a very decisive role. And it is important to consider like production and market access as a single integrated system, because Luxembourg is very small and has a very limited production. And you also saw in the quick scan that our famous food products are like beef, pork, and dairy products. And if you look at the table on the right side, you also see that the self-sufficiency is with beef, dairy products, and pork, it's enough. But if we go to other agricultural products, it's descending very strongly. And also this cute little comic on the right side, there you see that 85% of the surface are used for animal fodder and also animals itself. And we have like 15% for human agricultural products on our surface. And which is also very unique for Luxembourg is you have to imagine that 53% of the inhabitants are like non-Luxembourgish residents, citizens. So it's a very multicultural mixture of food cultures in a cosmopolitan sense. And this includes also that we have a very specific understanding of regional and local foods. So regional is, as I said, the greater region, as we don't draw the line on the borders because it's one system. And local production is very linked also to values such as sustainability, biodiversity, or rural development, and also jobs. So the regional products got very famous in Luxembourg, but we have like a term linked to it now that it is more like terroir cuisine. So it's about the product and it's also about the taste of the product. But terroir cuisine is a bit different than food culture because it less implicates like the social and cultural aspects if we talk about the local products we have and as they are like to find on the market. Then I will go straightly over to our policy. Our policy in this case is the Ecole du Goût business plan, like the operational plan, how the Ecole du Goût is working. Very important to understand in this case is that the Ecole du Goût is working on a national level, but it is a project of the 3 nature parks, so a more local actor in Luxembourg. You saw it on the map before and you see it here again, that the 3 parks are more situated in the north of Luxembourg, but the Ecole du Goût is, they are policy responsible for the Ecole du Goût. And the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Viticulture gave the permission to the nature parks that they are like the policy responsible authority. So this is the scale where the Ecole du Goût is working. And in this case, the Ecole du Goût is also our good practice. So the good practice of the daily works of the Ecole du Goût as a tasting school for Luxembourg, as we are operating on national level. And the policy is where we are working on. You maybe see it here. This is also very important for us. We are working 6 years on a 6-year basis. And the next operational plan is from 2027 to 2032. And we have also arranged like midterms after the Interreg project, if it's ended, that we can also do some changes here during the period of the 6 years. But now, what is the Ecole du Goût? So the Ecole du Goût, as we are this day, we are working as 4 people. Like we have one manager, we have 2 nutritionists, and we have also 1 receptionist. So we are, as I said, a project of the 3 nature parks, and we have a lot of institutional partnerships. Also, we are supported by 3 different ministries, and we have very close relations to the communes in the area. And as I'm speaking, I am sitting in our headquarters in Brandenburg, which is a village almost situated in between 3 nature parks, where we have a building with a kitchen, with our offices, a bit exhibition, and also like an educational garden. So it's like a circle from the garden to the kitchen. So what are we doing now exactly? We have 3 big pillars. We have the Schmankerleck, which are activities and experiences for everyone. We have the Schmankerstunden, which is like workshops for schools and further training for teaching stuff. So everything which happens in schools. And we have the Schmankerprofien, which are workshops and events for professionals in the food production industry. We can go deeper in the Schmankerstunden, where we have like workshops for primary schools, for secondary schools, and also further trainings. So our principle is a bit, we go into schools, we have like pilot projects. On the pictures here, you can see that we are working also in marketing and like working with the kids on these topics, also have further trainings. And we are doing pilot projects on the different levels. And then we use these experiences in our further trainings. And which is very important, the Ecole du Goût, which we now translate in English as tasting school, is like a method which came from France. So in the 70s, there was Jacques Brisé, which is shown on the left picture, and he invented the Classes du Goût, which are like workshops and also classes for primary school children to experience foods in a new way with their 5 senses. So it was a bit, we work with our senses to appreciate food more, to appreciate like local food a bit more, and like to, let's say, get back to the initial tastes of and flavors of food. And in Nature Park Ur, we had Luc Jacobs, which was an agricultural conseiller, like and he was very interested in the topic. And he said like, wow, it would be cool to get like this methods to Luxembourg. And so he started a leader project and developed like the first Ecole du Goût in Nature Park Ur back then, like with the methods from France. And in 2018, the 3 nature parks said like, wow, let's do it in our 3 nature parks. And also, which was very near, let's introduce like the region, health, food culture, sustainability, also right now social standards more into this project. And so there was formed a new Ecole du Goût, and also linked to a building. So there was a big opportunity that there was a building accessible, and that it was also transformed in a way to build like the tasting school fitting to the program, which Luc started like 20 years ago now. And as we are sitting here, we are not only 3 people, but we are now 4 people. It's just very recent that you don't see the pictures. So if I get back to the work we are doing, we have also the Schmankerleck. So as we started, it was also like very important to get everyone on board, especially if we went national. So we have like experience activities, like a kids program, culinary workshops, and also like sensibilization for kids with their parents, which we are doing on a regular basis on very different occasions. As you can see in the picture, we have like cooking classes. We are going to farms. We have events like in foires and also like in the kitchen. All our cooking classes, which we are doing like for everyone, are open for everyone, and they can join on different topics like regional and seasonality. We have very different options there. But I can also tell you a bit of the Schmach-Profien, so workshops and events for professionals in the food production industry, where interest in Luxembourg is also growing a lot. And here you can also see some pictures of the kitchen you're working in. So we are offering a lot of workshops for very different professions, or often like similar professions like cooks or also nutritionists, but they are working in very different places. And a big topic for us is also like the maison relais, like the daily care institutions, which you maybe heard also of the Naturgenezen project, which we presented sometime, where the topic is also to get more regional food, more organic food into the institutions, but also to tell like educators to give them formations about further trainings about how to use those I would say better products and how to reach kids with those information. But it's not only that, we are also offering further trainings for cooks who are working with elderly people. So everything which is fitting like in the 5 senses topic is working for us. And it's always based on the methods of the initial Classe du Goût from France. So this is like a very important point for us. We are not going into other directions, but we are always basing on those ideas and proven methods. So it's also very scientific that we are sticking to that. And on the bottom, you can also see food critics at work. So we are also very interested in combinations of professions and kids. So here we have like cooks from the daily care institutions, which are working with the educators. And at the end, the children come and taste and also say if they liked it or didn't like what the cooks were transforming in that further training. So I will stop the presentation here. I would have a lot other things to tell, but I will open the round now for questions.
So thank you very much, Laurent, for this bite-sized introduction into the Ecole du Goût. I think people are very clear on what you have told them, since I have not spotted any questions in the Q&A section of the webinar at the moment. Of course, if you still have something bubbling in the back of your brains, dear audience, don't hesitate to type the question into the Q&A. In the meantime, maybe let me ask you, Laurent, if you describe these different audiences that you are looking into with the Ecole du Goût, the professionals, the general public, and let's say the young ones, the school-related audiences.
Yes.
Can you say something about the balance between these groups in terms of how often you interact with them, and also in the feedback or the response they give you in terms of what they learn and what they take home professionally or personally when they have visited the Ecole du Goût?
Yes, I think I would start with the response of them. Like we are experiencing a lot of positive things from the professionals. Like they really appreciate the topics we are working on. Like if I can get some examples, there are classes with cooking with less salt for elderly people, for example. Or we are working with ones from the daycare institutions on how to prepare more or different in-between snacks or also meals for the children with the very seasonal products, which are, especially in winter, limited. So they are very happy to get information about that. But they are also extremely happy to have like a platform for networking. So it is not like one institution which is coming for us, but there are different people from different institutions who are meeting in our kitchen, let's say, or in our garden. And then they have also the exchange, like how is it working in your institution and how did you improve that? So this is very a living area where we're working in. For the children, it's a bit different. I think often they come and they don't know what to expect. So it's a new environment for them. It's very overwhelming sometimes, especially if we start like using the senses to experience the whole thing. So to experience like the workshops we are doing. So, but after some time, they are very eager too. And then we have like the access also to work with them. It's very age specific. So it's another work with very young people compared to older ones. But yeah, I think they appreciate it too. So we have also like young adults here to learn how to cook in general, as it's very limited in the school time. And in the start, they don't know what to do, some of them. But afterwards, they go with a kind of good feeling. And we do our evaluations. We ask them directly. So we have some really positive feedback there. And because it's very practical, so it's always a bit of theory in front, but practice is what they appreciate and how they want to work and what is sticking for them. You asked me also about some numbers, and I can go back to the presentation because we have actual numbers for every year. You can also find them on our website, which is Ecole du Goût, ecoledugout.lu. Sorry. So here are the data from 2024. I also have them from 2025, but we are like doing about 108 activities a year, which are a bit, here you can see how they are compared to the different pillars. And let's see if I have also like here. And here are the participants. So we do like a bit of a difference between if we act with them less than an hour and if we have them like for more than an hour. I mean, if a further training is 3 hours, it's more intense than if we are meeting people on a stand on a market or something like that. So that's how it's a bit, yeah. So we have like 2,700 people a year. This was with 3 people. With 4 people, we are expecting a bit more. So at the moment, we are kind of doing very different things, and we are reaching also some people. So
yeah, and you described how you are actually slowly and gradually evolving from a philosophy to a building, from 3 people to 4 people. And do I understand correctly that this is also translated into a growing number of events, interactions, and participants that are coming your way? And is this like a trend that you also see continuing in the future?
For the Ecole du Goût, I think 4 people is already a big success to have now. Absolutely. So it was also essential that we have some flexibility because we have sometimes like we have to offer the courses, like as it's very intense cooperations with different partners. And if someone gets sick or is just like not there, then it's quite impossible to do these things. So for the moment, it's an enormously good situation for us. But the demand is huge. Like over the country, if we only see in Luxembourg, and we also have some interactions internationally, the demand is huge. So that was also a point why we tried and decided to go with more people.
Great. So that sounds very good, Laurent.
But I think it's the same in other countries. Sorry.
Yeah, you're touching on a point that I would like to go to maybe wrap up this presentation. Maybe first a very banal question that everybody who wants to dream of setting up a taste school like this in their region across Europe might have. How do you fund something like this? Is there like a contribution from the participants, a government contribution, private equity? I don't know. How does it work?
So it's a very different fundings. So there are more fundings also. As you can imagine, the whole building was also a project from the government. So we couldn't do it like only on a nature park basis, but in principle, the nature parks, the 3 nature parks, are syndicates of communes. So communes are acting together, they're creating the nature park, and then they do the diverse projects. And the Ecole du Goût is one of them, and the communes of the 3 nature parks are committed to it. So we are first of all, able to work. And then we have very important 3 ministries with us. So as I showed in the beginning with the policy, we have the Ministry of Agriculture, which is responsible also for our missions, for our daily work. And they are supporting us enormously on that basis so that we can work. But I will also highlight the other 2 ministries, like the Aménagement du Territoire, so the how to landscape Luxembourg. They are a big part of the nature parks itself in the funding with the communes. And then we have also the environment ministry with us, which was also very important in the start of the project, to get it to go, I say, because from the leader to the next level of a project, there was a big need of some funding, and that was very crucial for us too. So and now also the Interreg project itself is also a big part of the Ecole du Goût. So very different fundings and very essential, all of them.
And does that mean that participation for the schools and pupils and professionals is relatively cheap or even free of charge?
It is cheaper than, so we don't charge them 100%. We have different tariffs. This was also a big work for us, to have very social, but also fitting tariffs on the so prices on the workshops we are offering. But always in mind, we get a lot of fundings from the different institutions I said now, and we want that everyone can take part. So the price should not be the point that someone has to say, I can't participate. From a school side, from further trainings, and also from private persons, we don't want to exclude someone. We have a lot of social projects going on because it's also very important. And so price is not the topic where it will fail. Yeah.
Absolutely understood. There's a few questions popping up now, so I'm going to pick 1 or 2 to wrap this section up very quickly. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you do to actually evaluate and get back to the participants to find out what they learned and what they did after their participation?
Yeah, what we like is to have them more than once here. So if we have in 2 weeks, we are doing the first plants in the garden with also a school from the area. And we wish that they will come back when it has grown. So it's not once they come, but we want them to come more often to see what they did here, to learn more about it. So this is a very crucial part that we introduce it in everything, like in school workshops, also in further trainings. We have a lot of people who are coming back to have this approach, to have this network. They are profiting a lot from it. Like,
and do you also find out maybe through this interaction in the second and third cycle what they do outside of the Ecole du Goût year-round with everything that they learn?
Sometimes, like as I said, we get direct feedback is the best. We do our evaluations on everything. And what is also good for us, we are very interested in networking. So we have a lot of cooperations with other institutions and partners, so that we also get feedback from them, like how they see. Luxembourg is very small, so that is also sometimes a big benefit because we can have direct feedback on things we know already. So it's not like 1,000 kilometers far away, but it's close to us. We have, for example, one project which worked everything out in the garden, how to work with schools in the garden. So we are also profiting from their expertise. And sometimes we have also the same people on the same sites, even if they are located in the south and we are more in the north. So that's also a very essential part. Yeah.
Very short links also between the different actors. This connects a little bit to the final question that I would like to ask you that comes from the audience, and that's your thoughts or ambitions perhaps to also scale up your interaction to similar activities or related initiatives across Europe. And now you're in a European cooperation project, clearly, but for the Ecole du Goût proper, do you also see a future that includes ongoing European-wide interactions or collaborations?
So the Interreg project itself was like a first step from the Ecole du Goût on an international, how to say, scale. So I think we should not forget that, that the project started in 2007, but it took a long way to get to this point where we are now. So we entered this building in 2023, like in May, which is now in 1 month, 3 years ago, and we had to switch everything. We also had to adapt to a building. We now have this wonderful Interreg project. So it's 3 years, but it's going fast for us. We are now for people also again a bit of a nice challenge to adapt to. And of course, we are looking into especially the neighboring countries. France has some Ecole du Goût itself. In the Netherlands, they have it introduced in the daily schooling system. So we see what other countries are doing, and we need to learn from them. So yes, I don't know if this answers the question completely.
Neither do I, but I think it's going in the right direction, and I would like to take over from you here and just maybe bounce the ball back to the audience here. Thank you very much for engaging and for asking all your questions, and you, Laurent, for explaining in a nutshell Ecole du Goût and what it's like. And I think what we can do is extend an open invitation to everybody who's listening now. If you want to learn more about Ecole du Goût, FLAVOR Interreg Europe is your channel, and we can certainly put you into contact with Laurent and the whole team at Ecole du Goût after today to learn more and keep this conversation going, and hopefully spread the whole concept of Ecole du Goût across Europe, slowly but steadily, so that at some point in time, everybody knows what it is and what you should do there. So thanks very much, Laurent. We have to move on because we have more on the menu. Forgive me for all these food-related wordplay, but I just can't help myself. That was Laurent from Ecole du Goût in Luxembourg. And as he explained in the beginning, in the concept of the taste talks, the host gets to invite a representative from one of the other partners to tell a little bit about some of the practices that they have that are of interest, in this case, to the Luxembourg side. And today we are putting the spotlight on a nice example from Luxembourg with the wonderful name Stremtaler Schmankerleck. I practiced and I hope I managed. It's a local food shop concept from Burgenland, which brings together the wonderful delicacies from producers all around the region. And it clearly inspired Natuurpark Oer to learn more about it. And I hope you get the same sensation, dear audience. To tell you more about this, Astrid is back because she knows everything about what's going on in Burgenland. So please, Astrid, tell us a bit more about the Schmankerleck. What is it?
Yeah, thank you, Taco. Hello again. I was invited to present the good practice to avoid any translation issues and keep the flow of the webinar smooth and clear. So I am going to present our good practice and I want to share my screen. Yeah, I got it. I hope all of you can see my screen. I'm going to present our good practice from a very small and rural region, the southern Burgenland, where rolling hills, orchards, small family farms and wineries shape the landscape. It's a region full of flavor, tradition and craftsmanship, but like many rural areas, its small producers often struggle to be seen. A few years ago, the community asked a simple question. What if we created a place where all these regional treasures could come together? A place that celebrates local identity, supports small farms, and reconnects people with the food grown around them. And that is how the Stremtaler Schmankerleck, Taco, you did it very good, was born. In the words of the good practice description, it is a local initiative in the city of Güssing. That's this very small city in the very small region of South Burgenland that promotes regional products and connects citizens with sustainable food choices. But in reality, it has become much more than a shop. It has become a meeting point, a story hub, and a small symbol of regional pride. So how it works. The Schmankerleck is built around a simple but powerful idea. Bring local producers together under one roof. Instead of each small farm trying to market its products alone, the Schmankerleck acts as a central delicacy shop. It collects products from farmers, beekeepers, and small manufacturers and presents them in a professional, attractive setting. Customers can walk in and experience the entire region in one place. From honey to pumpkin seed oil, from fruit juice from orchards or wines from local wineries, from jams to herbal teas. But the initiative didn't stop at selling products, it created experiences. Tastings, cooking workshops, themed product weeks, all designed to bring people closer to their food culture. These events turn the shop into a lively community space where stories are shared, traditions are rediscovered, and new ideas emerge. The beneficiaries around this good practice are many. On one side, these are local residents who gain easy access to fresh, sustainable products, or tourists who discover authentic regional flavors, and producers who finally receive visibility, fair marketing, and stable sales. How it is financed. The Schmankerleck started with initial support from the municipality and LEADER funds. This helped set up the shop, build the network of producers, and launch the first activities. Today, the initiative is largely self-sustaining. Ongoing costs are covered through product sales, supported by a small but efficient team. These are part-time employees who run the shop and organize the events, and also do things on their own, like they have one employee, they make these delicious sweet treats which are sold in the shop. They also have volunteers to help during the busy periods or community activities. This lean structure keeps the initiative financially stable while maintaining a strong community spirit. Now let's talk about what has been achieved with all this, and the results speak for themselves. As the good practice notes, within 2 years, more than 30 regional producers were integrated. So we are not talking about 30 products, 30 different producers from the region. Turnover has grown by 15% and customer service show consistently high satisfaction. But perhaps the most important impact is something less measurable. The Schmankerleck has become a place where people meet, a place where regional identity is strengthened, where producers feel valued, and where citizens reconnect with the flavors of their home. Why it matters for other regions. The Schmankerleck is a model that can be transferred easily to other rural areas. Its success is built on 3 pillars: close cooperation with producers, strong municipal support, and active involvement of citizens. Of course, challenges exist, especially securing long-term funding and keeping producers involved and motivated. But the concept is already inspiring neighboring regions, including Upper Burgenland, where we also funded a My Burgenland shop. It's like the same model than in the southern part. It actually exists in the northern part of Burgenland. So the Stremtaler Schmankerleck shows that rural development doesn't always require large infrastructure or complex systems. Sometimes it starts with something simple, bringing people together around good, honest, and local food. It is a reminder that food culture is not just about what we eat, it is about identity, community, and the future of our rural regions. And at the end of my speaking, I prepared some slides with pictures of the delicacies you can get in this shop. So at the first page, you see the entry of this new shop. On the right side, the yellow building, it's like the old shop. There you can still find a 24/7 vending machine where you can buy products 24/7 hours and days. And the picture on the left side shows you the entry from the new shop. It is located close to schools, and so they wanted to go to the people. They didn't want the people to search for the shop. They wanted the shop to be present where the people are. So the location close to the school is practicable for parents who pick up the kids and they need to buy the groceries, and the pupils when they wanted to buy some fresh snacks. So they prepare a lot of things like local fruit juices, wines, vegetables, snacks. The variety is very big, and the producers are also very satisfied with how the shop works and what they present and how they present their products, and the demand is increasing steadily. So yeah, thank you for having me as a speaker. I created some bullet point of the Stremtaler Schmankerleck. It's 2 branches in the in the city of Güssing. They cooperate with regional farmers and producers. It's joint marketing under one roof. They offer fresh bakery products, meat and sausage counters, cafe, snacks, seasonal specialities. They offer workshops and community activities. The strategic location near schools is for high daily food traffic. And the 24/7 self-service vending machine is for continuous access to local products. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Astrid. And especially thank you for these photos that at this time of the day made me a little bit peckish. It looked lovely. So at this point in the webinar, I would like to bring in one of the other colleagues from the Ecole du Goût from Luxembourg, Laurent Baulet, because it was him and his colleagues that actually thought we want to know a little bit more about the Stremtaler Schmankerleck. So Laurent, I give you first pass at asking a few of the follow-up questions that you might have to Astrid to learn more about the ins and outs and the details of this concept that might be interesting for you to learn. What is so interesting to you, and where would you like to explore further?
Yes, hello, first of all, a warm welcome of my side. My name is Laurent Bauler from the Ecole du Goût. So, and I have the honor of conducting this interview with Astrid and offering a deeper insight into the Stremtaler Schmankerleck. Yes, farm shops and small local shops are currently a key issue in Luxembourg. That is why we have chosen the Stremtaler Schmankerleck as a best practice example. In Luxembourg, we face the challenges that small producers are often unable to guarantee a stable supply, and there are power imbalances between the various players in the food system. Against this backdrop, we look forward to an inspiring discussion on the following questions. So let's dive straight into the first question on the logistics and the use of leftovers. In Luxembourg, the supply capacity of small farms often fluctuates. How does the collaboration with the farmers and producers work? Do you source all the produce yourselves? And what happens to any leftovers produce, especially the fresh produce?
Yeah, the collaboration with farmers and producers is mainly based on trust, transparency, and the most important thing is the regular communication. The Schmankerleck acts as a central point of sale, but the products remain closely connected to the producers themselves. So they work with more than 30 regional partners to deliver their goods directly to the shop, and this keeps the supply chain short and ensures freshness and quality. They do not source everything themselves. Instead of this, producers bring their products according to demand. So they coordinate quantities together. This avoids overproduction and reduces waste. For fresh products, they plan very carefully, and they also do it in line with pre-orders, especially for seasonal products or for fresh products like meat and sausage, or like, for Christmas and Easter holidays. They work with pre-orders, and so they can keep the supply chain on track. If small amounts remain, they are either discounted shortly before closing, or they are also used in trainings and workshops. The goal is to keep waste as low as possible.
Good, thank you. Thank you very much for this constructive answer. So let's directly move to another question, to the next one, to the partners and fairness. So to avoid power imbalances, fair rules are needed. How do you select the farmers and producers whose products are sold in the shop or online? Do you have a list of requirements?
The first thing to say about this is probably the understanding of the region. This part of of Burgenland is a very small region. We don't have a lot of inhabitants, and compared to other other counties, we also probably don't have that much producers because we don't have this many inhabitants, and the producers we have, they are very small structured, and so they follow a very clear but simple set of criteria. The products must come from the region, if possible, and or the immediate surroundings. They must reflect the high quality standard and the authenticity. Sustainable production methods are also very highly rated. They prioritize small farms, beekeepers, and local manufacturers who work with care and traditional craftsmanship, because that's the people we want to support with this, that they keep on track and keep on doing their thing. There is no long formal checklist. It would not be possible because they are not enough. But there are some guiding principles: the regional origin, the transparent production, and a product that fits the Schmankerleck's identity and the identity of the region. Before onboarding a new producer, there is always a personal conversation, a visit of the farm if that is possible, and to make sure that the cooperation feels right for both sides, also for the producer. This personal approach has been key to building a strong and motivated producer network, and they have a really good network and a really good communication. In also the producers communicate very well to each other.
Okay, thank you for this very clear answer. So, and we will directly move to the last question, the final question of the motivation and location. So Güssing is a pioneer in originality. What was the deciding factor in opening the shop in Güssing and opening a second one here? Wouldn't it be more adventurous to open a second shop further away?
The first shop in Güssing, it was a natural choice because the region already had a strong base of small producers and a community that they value regional products. Güssing is a local hub, so it offered good visibility and accessibility for residents and tourists. The second location was chosen very deliberately as well. They wanted to strengthen the regional network rather than stretch it too far too quickly. Opening a shop much further away might sound attractive, but it would have created logistical challenges like longer delivery routes and a weaker connection to the producers. The concept relies on short supply chains and close relationships. That's what makes it authentic and sustainable. When you have a look at the card of the Burgenland, like the geographical, it is very wide. It's very long. So the distances from when you go by car, probably from the southern part of Burgenland to the northern part, it takes you 1.5 hours by car. So that's quite a long distance. By expanding within the region first, they ensure quality, stability, and a strong community engagement. Only once this foundation is secure, you could probably consider 2 more distant locations.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for this exclusive answer. So yes, we have now I give now maybe back the words to Taco, and we can start with the Q&A session with the other people, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope, Laurent, your questions are answered and that you
absolutely
have even more clarity on what you could do with this.
Yes.
In the meantime, I do see a couple of questions or ideas coming up in the Q&A. in general, keep posting your questions if you have something simmering. One of the things that comes up, maybe that you could say a little bit about, Astrid, it's quite an interesting angle. So this is business to consumer shop. Is there also something in terms of a relation between the Schmankerleck and restaurants and hotels, let's say the catering sector, in terms of supplying those businesses with produce, but also the businesses being, let's say, marketing channels or mouthpieces of the shop to attract further business?
Yeah, definitely. They act as a marketing channel. You could say that. But in terms of hotels and restaurants, there are not many because the region is very rural. So there is not like these big hotels like you imagine. There are some restaurants, but they are more in a smaller size. So we have some high quality restaurants. They use the products from the local farmers and the producers. What's the struggle all the time with bigger restaurants or bigger hotels is to have this steady amount. So they do caterings on their own, like when people order or for special events or something like this. You saw it in the pictures. And I know from smaller restaurants that it is possible to use the products and they are used. But with bigger restaurants, it's still difficult.
So it's really this matter of scale that actually creates not necessarily a problem, but at least a specific type of market that you can service, people that are willing to get something else the next week because what they had last week is not available this time, and are a little bit more open for change.
Yeah, the restaurants cook very seasonal, like when we have some special products like strawberries or, this really seasonal thing that grows where we are. The hotels and restaurants really use these products, but not the whole kitchen, the whole ingredients. It's not possible.
No, it can only be a section of the menu. Yeah.
Yes.
But clearly the link is there. Something else in what you said also triggered me, and I might ask you about that, because you referenced to the Schmankerleck not only as a shop, but also as a place where stories are told and where people meet and exchange and get to engage with each other. In your overview presentation, I saw a reference to workshops. But could you say a little bit about the kind of interaction that happens there? Is it just people bumping into each other when they are doing their shopping and having a chat, or is there a lot more going on, more structured events and activities?
Yeah, that you can imagine this shop. It's like a small cafe with some seats, and you can also have coffee and sweet treats there and snacks. And the other part of this shop is this shop part where you can find the products and the bakeries and something like this. They are very, very present on social media like Facebook, and they announce the workshop on Facebook, not on the website, but in the social media channels. Like I saw, but the workshops, it's more kind to do, one special product that we eat here, like, Grammelpogačal. That's probably kind of a workshop where you can learn how to make Grammelpogačal, or these are more special things. And so the people are motivated to come there. They have a small kitchen there and they can bring together experiences.
So it's also about teaching people how they can make traditional regional dishes with traditional regional ingredients. Of course, in a different way than in the Ecole du Goût, but clearly a similar philosophy that it's one thing to buy things, but it's another to work with the ingredients and get an understanding of what its actual value is. That's very nice. At the moment, if I look at the Q&A, I don't see any new questions coming up. So it seems that everybody's curiosity has been calmed and answered. I think then, Astrid, we can thank you very much for telling us the story of the Stremtaler Schmankerleck.
You're welcome.
Anyone who is ever in the south of Burgenland, I can only recommend you go there and check it out. I hope you will have the occasion soon. And I think at this point it concludes the flow of our first taste talks from the Flavor Project. And I would really like to thank very much our speakers, Astrid and the two Laurents, for telling us their stories, for getting all this organized to begin with. And also a big thank you to all you participants, Flavor partners, Flavor stakeholders, sharing your time and your interest in the stories from these two wonderful rural regions in Europe. My takeaways clearly, if I zoom out a little bit, is that in both cases, what is good grows slowly. It takes time to translate a good idea into an actual taste school or into a proper functioning, robust local shop. But maybe that's also what actual ingredients tell us. The slower it grows, the more tastier it is. So maybe that's a little philosophy that we can take home at the end of today. Thanks once again for participating. Stay tuned for our next taste talk. Laurent already explained it will take place in roughly 3 months' time. So we will be preparing and reaching out to all of you with news on the date and the topic. As a little sneak peek, I think our Greek partners from the region of Western Macedonia have the honor of initiating and curating that seminar. So look out for that in your inbox and online. And I hope to see you all very soon in real life or in the next Taste Talks from the Flavor Project. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, thank you from the lead partner side. A warm thank you to our host, the partners from Nature Park Ur, for the very good organization and for shaping the theme and content of today's session. I would also like to thank you, Taco, our external, for guiding us through the speaking slots and ensuring a smooth moderation. And of course, a big thank you to all participants for your time, your interest, and your contributions. Your engagement is what makes these exchanges valuable. Yeah, and I'm very looking forward to the next webinar. And thank you once again, and I wish you all a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
I think you can push the yellow button, Laurent. Well done, guys.